go to Google and type in psyche splitting off from trauma, and then go 2 articles down to the eggshell therapy. This article is amazing. It's going to talk about highly sensitive people and how they are affected by complex trauma. This is a little bit different than PTSD because it's ongoing. PTSD is kind of something that happens maybe at one event in your life, but CPTSD is something that happens kind of all throughout for a long period of time. So a highly sensitive person is someone who processes more stimuli than the average person. So their nervous systems can get overwhelmed because they are processing more stimuli. They're processing more emotional, mental, energetic, and physical stimuli. And the highly sensitive person is so affected by the childhood traumas that they experience. Often they're misdiagnosed with mood disorders or personality disorders, and they really have a need for emotional attunement. So they're very wounded by the emotional neglect if the parents were unable to give that to them. Now, the article goes on to explain the structural disassociation, the split that can happen in the psyche. I think this is really interesting. It says a split in your personality doesn't mean, of course, that you suffer from schizophrenia or psychosis, but it's a coping strategy for overwhelming experiences. When stressful things happen as an adult, we can leave, but as a child, we couldn't leave. So we have to leave a part of ourselves, which causes internal anger and often self-blame and shame. This is exactly what I experienced. And then that split goes on into adulthood. So you are split off from a part of yourself. And that part of yourself can kind of come up impulsively at different times in your life. And it can be very confusing for both you and others. And this goes on to talk about the fears that you have because of the CPTSD and the highly sensitivity, a fear of criticism, fear of rejection, fear of disappointment. You do a lot of avoidant habits and patterns. And it also explains some of the symptoms. Selective memory loss, I experienced this, emotional numbness, disembodiment, lack of motivation and stamina, and counterdependence, and a huge inner critic. I highly suggest this book if you want to dig deep, and Part's work is huge in healing this.